Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 23 of the Cinematic Boys Reviews. Today I got my wonderful co-host, Bilal and Sammy. Of course, is DMB Reviews, aka Dakota here. So
Big
for
D.
today's, I'm just going to let you guys say that. I'm just going to let it ride.
Just ride the wave, bro. Just ride the wave. And you know what? I'm happy to be here today, guys. I don't know about you guys. How's everyone's week been?
Yes, guys, it's great to have Sammy back after he missed the Back Riders episode. It's great to have you back, Sammy.
At least it was here for the Ray 1 and 2, though.
That's true.
Oh,
I was here for peak.
Oh no! Speaking of that, if you guys don't know, that's our highest viewed YouTube video right now. So shout out to you guys for watching it. But of course, today's review we're gonna be talking about the first movie in Ty West's X trilogy. I wish they could give a better name to this trilogy. Which is the first movie is X. This movie released in 2022. It is directed by, of course, Ty West. This movie stars
Brittany Snow, Jenna Ortega,
I was going
Cuddy.
This movie stars Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi, Martin Henderson, Owen Campbell.
Oh, and Scott Meducci.
Who's Scott?
That's
Meducci?
Kid Cudi.
Oh, was that Kid Cudi? Okay, I was wondering who that was.
Damn nice.
I was looking at. Wait. You know Karen Gilligan is in this?
Huh?
Yes, Karen Gilligan.
I was just Kid Cudi humming. No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. It said the radio steak seller. I don't know what part. I need to rewatch that now so I can. It's just her voice. I didn't even know that. That's something I just learned today. But of course, this is the first movie, like I said, in Ty West's X trilogy. But let's get right to it, guys. I'm gonna give it to Sammy first. What is your thoughts on X?
So X,
spoiler free at first.
Spoiler free. I love this movie. This is my second time watching it. The first time I watched it was actually a couple months ago, just like randomly, because I have everyone and their mom was telling me to watch X and Pearl because they love Pearl.
Did my brother ever tell you to watch it?
He did. Yeah, he told me he liked Pearl.
Yes.
And X. Yeah. So it was like I said, a lot of people just told me about it, and I never just got around to it. I didn't even know Jenna Ortega was in it. I like the movie a lot. It definitely goes for certain things that like I feel like it's not really talked about in Hollywood, or like the history of film is not really talked about, especially in the States. And so I think it's really interesting that they tackle that. I like that how it echoes a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it kind of has a brighter feel to it sometimes. I don't know how to describe that. But then I don't know, it just keeps you kind of on your toes the whole time. Everyone's performance and like character is really interesting here, and they all have something to say and something different that also kind of contribute to what the movie wants to talk about with the adult film industry, but also with like slashers in general, and just like the idea of like wanting to be something and going as far as you need to do that. Mia Goth is phenomenal in this movie. It's no secret, like big standout movie as well as Pearl. And yeah, I love this movie. It's one of those I could watch like again and again if somebody had it on. It's not something I like go to over and over, but like it's definitely a movie that if somebody had it on, I'm like, yeah, I like it a lot. It's a great time. Bilal, what do you think, man?
I mean, I think y'all like this movie way more than me. I mean, there's things I enjoy, especially with the performances. The themes, I didn't really vibe with it. It's not my cup of tea. I think that's the main reason why I didn't like it as much as others. I do appreciate the suspenseful moments in this movie. There's a lot of good suspense built into this. Like Sammy said, Mia Goth was easily the powerhouse. Fantastic performance all around. Definitely deserve an Oscar nomination for this. Like, let's be real. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay.
So, Bilal, did you see this in theaters or did you wait after it was released on physical?
I waited.
My goodness, I was on the X hype train before y'all two were.
Well, no, it was one of those movies that like it looked interesting, but I just at the time I just moved, and so I wasn't really like seeing a lot at the moment. And then once it came out, like after it got out of theaters, it kind of blew up a little bit more. Like it blew up in theaters for sure. Like I saw the marketing and everything, but then like once it left theaters, there's a lot of people that were like, "Yo, you got to watch this movie! Like it's really cool. They got good stuff coming." And then Pearl came out, and that was a big deal. And so I don't know. This was just one that kind of just slipped under my radar until like later on.
I mean, I was hearing the hype for it, but it just wasn't playing my theater at the time, so that's why I was waiting till Prime. And then
Really, Canada? Why did you not release this film when you should
at
have?
least Maxine is playing theaters for some
Yeah,
reason.
It's
That's
because
good.
these movies are done so well. But for me, of course, I was on the X hype train. I think this trailer was released in January of 2022. Watched the trailer when it first was released. Was really hyped for it. It had Britney Snow, and I think I've recognized Kid Cudi from it. And that was the only two I knew at the time. I didn't even know who Mia Goth was. And I'm like a slasher. This is the around the time when I was really getting into horror movies. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch every horror movie that is released in theaters. And of course, it's A24. I seen Cut Gems by them, but I'm like, this is a new studio. I really don't know what their movies are because I didn't technically know A24 made Uncut Gems until later on. So I'm thinking this was my first ever A24. I'm like, I want to see what this movie studio is like. I want to see what this horror movie is like because it's giving off Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, and I kind of like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's one of the original slashers. It's set up all these slashers that continued with Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. It was the Brown Breaker, and I went to go see it opening weekend on a Saturday. Really enjoyed it. I think I was either by myself or with one other person that was in the theater with me. But I liked it so much. The next week, the whole family we went to go see The Lost City.
All right.
And I told us,
I was
no,
going.
no, no, no,
I was
no,
going to
no, I'm
say,
not going
man.
there.
I
No, no,
was
no,
going to say, man.
no. We went to go see The Lost City, and I've been telling Austin, I'm like, there's this movie we gotta go watch it. And it was the next day. He picked me up from work, and we went over to Regal, and we saw it. And I kind of gave him the like brief synopsis of what this movie was. I didn't give him like the full details of like this is some wacky ass shit that you guys go and watch. And of course, they watched it. They really liked it. They liked it. I'm just gonna say a little spoiler warning. They like X better than Pearl. Him and Kendall do. But I really enjoyed this movie. So I've seen it twice in theaters when it was first released, and this is my first time rewatching it physically at home. So this is my third time watching it, and I kind of wish I watched this sooner. But it kind of helps me a little bit because that same eeriness and like creepy vibe that you get when you first watch this movie, I got during this whole entire watch. And there's some scenes I will talk about that really like stepped up. And there were some jump scares I don't remember, and they got me again watching this.
yeah. I feel like this movie does a good job of like it's not going above and beyond to try to do these jump scares or really set up like this is the big punch and we use a lot of sound effects and stuff. It's very like it catches you off guard, but it makes sense and it's subtle and they set it up. And I'll give more details when we get into spoilers, but
Also, I forgot I mentioned. I think the camera work in this movie is really spectacular.
Yes.
I think I forgot to mention that. Even though I thought the movie is alright, I can still appreciate this movie a lot. Even though I didn't enjoy it as much as y'all did, but yeah.
I
yeah,
think like what Bilal's like explaining is like with the camera work, like I said, this gives off a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. And remember how that movie is like grainy and like, oh, it has like a film over it. And Ty West put that right into the camera. He put that film over. I don't know if he done it post production or if he found a camera lens for it while he was filming it. But if you found a camera lens, I give him props for that.
Well, I'm googling if it was shot on film or digital.
Okay. And just it's not a big spoiler, but this movie is two separate movies if you split it apart. It feels like a thriller in the first half, kind of like with the eeriness and stuff. It's kind of like, you know, below how Zodiac is that eeriness
Yeah,
and like
Zodiac.
creepy
Yeah.
feeling. It's like that in the first half because you meet this older couple and you get that eerie feeling. But once you get into that second half, it's full slasher. It's Ty West. It's his brutalness. It's the practical effects are so damn good in this. It get like I'm kind of glad A24 done this because if it was a big name studio, this would have been CGI most of the stuff. I'm kind of glad A24 like took a shot at this because this was their technically I think first ever slasher movie they did, and they ran with it and they did a great job with this.
No, yeah, and I don't know, I definitely just think the movie does a good job on standing on its own two legs while also paying homage to so many different classic films and slasher like stereotypes that we're kind of used to, and but not even just stereotypes. Like I feel like this movie doesn't really fall into any of those categories, more as just giving us a template that we're used to and kind of showing us like, hey, here's a new way to look at it. um and yeah, I don't know, it's just I feel like it's definitely like as dark and as weird as it gets, it's a fun time.
Would you like you said you would watch this if somebody had this on? I kind of feel like I'm gonna rewatch this more and more. And even though I really love this movie, I think I'm gonna have more appreciation for it, more deeper appreciation for it, and what Ty West did with it later on, like when I rewatch this over and over.
Well, also once
But
we have the full context of the story too, I mean that also kind of, I don't know, art changes once you have the full, like the whole puzzle, you know what I mean?
especially with Maxine, I kind of just a little like thing. I kind of am like glad what he done with his trilogy because each movie is like different, so much different. It's like this is a just a straight slasher movie. I feel like Pearl's like a slasher drama, a lot more drama than slasher in it. Holy crap, that scared the crap out of me.
And we're back.
And it feels like
What you drinking, bud? Sorry,
A Baja Blast slushy.
you were literally ordered that. Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Got
no,
it.
those are my favorite.
This isn't sponsored.
But I see what he does with Maxine. It's the like a who done slasher, and he has took some. It's, even though it's the hard trilogy, first ever trilogy by the way for A24. Props to A24 actually making a trilogy. I heard there could be a fourth idea from him for another movie, but we just gotta see how Maxine rolls out. But let's get right into it, guys. Let's talk about spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen X yet, I know this is streaming, I think, on Showtime. Definitely on Showtime. I don't know if it's streaming on Prime.
It's on Netflix.
Is it on
Or,
Netflix also?
it should be. That's where it should still be on Netflix.
It's coming on King Netflix real soon. I think that's Friday. It looks like it was on Prime. So
Got you. Okay.
So
no, it's coming on to 14, July 14. Never mind.
Okay, bet. Either way, it's coming to Netflix.
So okay, it in America it's on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. So it's not on Showtime anymore.
Honestly,
on-
not to shame Showtime. It is so I hate that app so much. I'm so sorry. I just can't, bro, because they're the best movies will be on there and nobody has Showtime.
I don't know. They've done it with Paramount Plus now, where they paired the two together.
Yeah, that's honestly I'd prefer that when it's like comboed like that.
But let's get right into it, guys. Let's talk about some spoilers. First of all, what is the best scene you think from this movie? I'm gonna throw Bilal first because he don't like this movie about that much. So I kind of want to pick his brain and see like what's good and what's bad in this. for him.
Hmm. I think the best scene in this movie is literally the first interaction with Howard and what's the guy with the cowboy hat's name again?
Oh,
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 was it
Wayne.
Wayne? Yeah,
Wayne,
Wayne.
yeah. I think that just sets the tone of this becoming a much more of a slasher film. It's like, who would you trust? Would you trust an old man pulling up a shotgun on you randomly when you're trying to, like,
I
get
wouldn't.
into
Yeah.
get one of the houses like that? You know, like, if you're smart, you're getting out of that situation. But you see the greediness in the characters that they really want to film this. Adele filmed the most. I think that was like my best scene because it just sets the tone of the film really well right off bat.
Sammy, what's your best moment from this?
I definitely feel like, as much as I love the cold open, I think weirdly, it's definitely like the end half of the movie because I feel like a lot of the intro is just like setting everything up. But I like that it sets it up as like an ensemble, and then it leads to Mia being the lead. You know what I mean? Like, even if she is the lead, it doesn't really, like, we aren't focused on her that much until like later in the movie when she becomes like a central figure. So I would definitely say, like, one of the first scenes we see with her where she's like, oh my god, what's her last name? I'm blanking.
I talk about Mia Goth.
Yeah, in the movie.
Maxine Minx.
Yes, she's like, I'm Maxine fucking Minx, and it's like, it's one of the first times we're introduced to her, but it's like that kind of, we're not really given a lot about her. So personality from her and just kind of this idea that she knows she's a star and she's going to do anything to like be that. And later on in the movie we see she's willing to kill for that, but she's still
Yeah,
going to kill, like, go for it. Like, that's definitely like a sentiment and a statement to make about like celebrity culture and
yeah,
how much that is, like, the fact that she was even in adult media to begin with just to be a star, which is a very common trend in adult film industry. So I feel like that's definitely like having her not be as centralized also kind of helps with the mystery of her, because it's like, okay, we know her, but I still don't, because I didn't expect her to be or do any of those things, especially when they reveal with everything connecting to the church at the end with the TV.
yeah,
That's a massive, like, that's the first time in the movie, in my opinion, that's probably my favorite scene, I'm not gonna lie, is the church with the TV, because they show it at the beginning of the movie and it's interesting and it's very like southern, like 70s 80s southern culture. That makes sense, and it's definitely like something that kind of sticks out and feels very eerie. And so how it fully comes around to show us how where Maxine's from and give us that full exposition at the end of the movie. I just love the switch up. I just love when like directors or auteurs like take a structure and they just kind of like flip it around. And I feel like in this movie, specifically with Maxine's character, that's done really well. Um, So I would definitely say like the end scene with the TV, and then like the first time we're introduced to Maxine.
So I think the best thing for me is laying off towards the end scene. It's when Pearl is outside laying on the ground, and Maxine, she comes up to her or like walks up to her, and she does the shh, because it's like she's in full control now. It's like a little fuck you to her,
yeah,
and it's like I don't care what you say. It's like she said in the movie, I'm a fucking star. It's like I'm gonna get what I want, and like you said, it was really shocking the first time seeing this scene, because you always see this preacher on the TV and this church sermon, and you realize that at the end it's actually her dad. And I kind of wish, I hope they do this in Maxine, that we get more backstory of why she left her dad and the church.
I definitely like want to see at least like maybe like one or two glimpses of like a flashback or like maybe like a flashback sequence. I definitely could see them doing something like that. Because like you said, like I feel like with Maxine is such an interesting character to have as a lead, but we still don't know that much about her. Um, I just, especially with the way the story goes, I feel like you get to understand everyone else really well. And I definitely think, okay, one of the best scenes in the movie for me, it's a very slow scene, is where they're all sitting in the living room and talking after they film, because I feel like that's the first time, because the movie kind of opens the gate and is like, okay, here's what we're doing, here's the premise, you get the idea, let's go do it. And then this is the scene where they sit down and they actually like talk about what they're doing. And like we
and
get
like
to
what the
see
purpose is.
yeah, but we see multiple perspectives on why everyone does it and why everyone's there and their background. And it's very much like everyone has more ambition for other things than that outside of Wayne. And Wayne kind of knows that, but Wayne also is lost because this is all he knows how to do. And so I just feel like in that scene we get to know everyone really well. But even like I said with Maxine, like we don't really get to know her in that scene. Like we get to know the idea of her, how she projects herself to everyone in the room, but then by the end it's a completely different character. But yeah, I really love that scene because I feel like it's the scene that made me kind of come around to the movie more and start to appreciate it more because it felt like it was a scene that was built for like empathy for characters. And that's kind of just, I don't know. That was a scene that definitely stuck out to me.
So, speaking of the ending, not only her interaction with Pearl, but as she drives off after killing Pearl, it's that scene of like she don't care, like she wants to get out of there, she wants to live her own life, and she's quoting stuff of what her father has said. So it's like, because you see how the cross is in the on the mirror when she gets in the truck.
Yeah.
So it's like the reference of like, I think she always knows that she will have like Christianity with her no matter what she's going through. And she like, her dad said like they're waiting for her to return home. That's all they want, is the best for her, but the right way, not follow this devilish lifestyle of what she has been going on all
But
these
I also
years.
think like the time period for the film helps too, because like that culture very much existed in that like space. You know what I mean? Like 70s, 80s, like that was like it was like anyone involved in that was instantly like terrible people. And so I think that's like I feel like the movie wouldn't work as well in today's world in a present time. I think it very much plays off of that, especially with like the religious aspect, because I feel like that had such a bigger play and arguably like 80s or 80s with like at least like American culture and like Southern culture versus I don't know nowadays where like that idea is definitely like a little more open and a little more talked about, you know what I mean? Especially with like people's ethics on the subject is very different than say what is it 1979 when this movie takes place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, like I said, like just the culture and ethical landscape is very different there. And I also to head back, that's why I love that scene so much because they kind of just sit and talk about it and they have an open discussion about it,
Like
which I feel like is never really talked about and you need to have that.
like perfect example, like Sammy, me and you are from the South. And like we see older people, but like our grandparents, I don't know if you saw in your grandparents, but my grandparents, they were kind of like this way, like the older, like Southern way, I would say. Not putting like derogatory or anything, but it's
No,
like
I
how
don't
they
think, I
were
think
raised.
it's 1,000% that. And I think a lot of it too is like when it kind of plays off the stereotype of like when you hold someone down in a certain thing for so long, they're gonna restrain from it or they're gonna break free from it and be something else. And that's kind of what they like I get the idea of with Maxine is like she grew up in this like this very like biblical Christian household that restrained her from wanting to be the woman she wanted to be. And so now she's becoming a whole different person out of it, but she's still free in it. You know what I mean? So I just feel like her character as a woman really sticks out in this movie in a very interesting way versus like some other like female protagonists and like how they go about what they want. And it just makes you want to ask so many questions and learn so much more. And it makes sense why they did Pearl right after this. And now we're getting Maxine. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of really interesting things that they do here in this movie.
So next thing, this movie has some eerie and creepy things in this. What is your guys' top 3 eerie moment or creepy moments from this movie?
I think any scene with Pearl is just staring at Maxine is super eerie. I mean, it starts from the beginning, during the alligator scene kind of thing. Before, well, I mean, how did Maxine not hear the alligator in the first place? I don't know when she was swimming. Like, that's another reason why I don't like this movie because logically, my
That
brain.
has so much tension and suspense in that scene, though. When I first watched it, I'm like, hurry the fuck up and get out of the water.
Oh, same. But I'm with Bilal. There's no way you don't see the water moving. You don't know where you are. And you're like, oh, maybe I should not be in this water.
And another scene that pisses me off is like, when Howard's like, well, Kid Cudi's character is like, oh, I fought, I'm a Marine, I fought in Vietnam. And this guy has serious skills, man, and gets smoked by Howard, like all ass man. I'm like, bro, man, get out of here, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
No, yeah.
maybe my brain is just thinking about this shit too much, and that's why I don't appreciate this movie as much as you.
No, but he clipped Jenna Ortega too. I mean, he was running around with that double barrel cleaning up,
Oh,
and it was
that was just jump scare
insane.
too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was an example of a jump scare. Like, it's not a jump. Like, they didn't make it a huge thing, but like when it happens, you're like, oh shit.
Can I tell you another jump
Like,
scare? And it got me. I wonder if you guys got you. So of course, you know when Wayne gets stabbed in the eye at first.
yeah.
I think that got me at first. But when you go to the next scene, I forgot who it was, and it just cuts back in. Pearl pulls a pitchfork out of his eye, and it does that loud sound. That jumped, and it made me have a jump scare today. I'm like, I forgot about that because it's out of nowhere.
That's all I go say. White people. Hey, us brown brothers would never be in this situation. Oh wait.
So we got to sit here and ask the real questions, guys. We've been sitting here the whole podcast. We're about 30
Sammy,
minutes.
I want
in.
your eerie feelings.
My eerie moments
in this movie.
I'll give you my eerie moments. Was Kid Cudi? There's a scene where we get a shadow. Is he hung, or is it a stand-in? Because that was eerie. Because if it isn't a stand-in, like I can't, like I saw this man live. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I don't know how to feel about that. I really, genuinely don't know how to feel about that. I feel like the eeriest moment for me in this movie is when Pearl gets in bed with Maxine. Because, and I say that because it's a moment where obviously we understand Pearl's like motives and intentions and her feelings and where she is with like her beauty and sense of like love for herself and like intimacy, but we don't really get the scale of how obsessive and narcissistic she is about it until she gets in bed with Maxine. Because it almost adds like, because she's almost looking at her throughout the whole movie as like this woman who's like what she wants to be, but now she's like interacting with her. And that's the thing that just made like, it's just, I literally looked away at certain points because it's uncomfortable to watch. And it's, I don't know how you filmed it, to be honest.
It's supposed to be uncomfortable, but I feel like they kind of did too much during that scene. I feel like maybe the touching
That's what
create.
but that's
But
what I'm
that's the
saying. Like
eeriness and
that's
creepiness of the scene.
that
No,
moment
no,
is
no, no,
very
no.
much
The
when it gets like
licking,
insane.
the licking was a little
No,
unnecessary.
no,
No,
I don't
like
want that. I don't
you
want
Wait,
do
that.
that,
what? Wait.
bro.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck! I forgot about that. That
Yeah,
was
that,
weird.
like you know
Or
what?
like her
That
breathing and
that's
eating her
when
hair.
I'm
I'm like,
like,
bro.
nah, this movie ain't for me, bro. This is a little too much.
And A24 be doing that. Like they really be doing like random ass scenes like that you're like, yeah,
Can I tell you something?
maybe I should have saw this by myself. Like,
No, no,
it's
no.
like
It was
or
during that.
not at
No,
all. Like
it was
it's,
during that scene and the intimate scene between Howard and Pearl. Austin looked over me. He's like, "What the fuck did you bring me to?" I'm
yeah,
like, "A
yeah.
movie."
Because
bro,
that's
Because
you watch that with your
but
brother?
yeah,
that's like the whole statement too.
Why, bro?
because I wanted them to see it because it's a horror movie and they watch like Hereditary in them, and you know, or Hereditary, and I think you watched The Witch.
Not as
How
good as
it's
him.
A24, and he was like,
Oh, The
"Oh, it's
Witch is
A24."
fantastic. I love everything about that movie.
Oh, I love The Witch. It's perfect.
The Witch is
And I think you
perfect.
watched like
Yeah.
Midsommar also, so it's like the eeriness of A24 also, and you kind of want to see how it was, but he's like, this is a little bit more eerie and creepy than I thought.
But I also think like the movie does a good job of talking about like time and age and like certain ideas that we don't ever want to like address but are real, like when, like for example, when Howard and them get intimate, it's very disgusting and uncomfortable, but there's nothing unnatural about it. It's a movie that like when that happens, it's something that's like, oh, like that's disgusting, I don't want to think about that, but that's very real, and this is like part of our world, and that's part of age, and that's part of life. And I like when movies make you address or talk about uncomfortable subjects, and I feel like this movie does a really good job of doing that, or really just addressing that in a very visual or subtle way, where the script doesn't really want you to like focus on it too much, but it's definitely going to like show it to you and like let you think about it and talk about it.
Yeah.
So for me, some of my eerie moments, it's the two straight off. When Maxine looks up in the window and Pearl is like watching her, I'm like, shit, man, this already getting creepy. And the
Yeah,
other
like
thing,
yeah,
it's the
no.
porch scene. When she's on the porch and she's looking and she does this, I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, bro, I'm out.
See, that's one like that's when it's like one of those scenes where it's like, okay, she's just like wants to be her and is obsessive. Like I'm not thinking about it as much as she goes in to do later on in the movie.
Let's like. I think the turning point of this movie is definitely when Jenna Ortega want to be in the movie, and then you just see the cross get taken off. I think that was like the turning point to turn into the slasher. I mean, that was like the midway point of the film, sort of thing.
And I also think that's when the movie also wants to like kind of dive more into the ethics of it and like talk about that, and kind of it's something nobody really wants to see and is kind of uncomfortable with, but it's
Because
something that
now,
like you see it happen and you understand why it happened, and that's why they're showing it, so you understand how it happens. And that to me was really that, like you said, it was a turning point for me and like what they were trying to talk about thematically as well.
because not only it's a religious thing for Jen Ortega's character, which I forgot her name, Lorraine,
Lorraine.
but it's also a scene for RJ being the boyfriend. Like he is filming this movie. He just brought her along to help with the movie. He never knew she was going to be in the movie
But that's also a statement too. It's like, why would you bring her onto the movie knowing what you do? And his defense for what he does is his work in being a cinematographer and trying to make
Man.
a good image. And that's something that like that happens too, but he kind of knows the reality of what he's doing is still just making an adult film. Like it's not going like, even if he could progress from that, what he's doing right now isn't necessarily going to do that. It's just kind of an excuse to say why he's there.
I
And so
mean,
whenever it becomes a problem for him for Jenna to be in a movie, it's very much like, okay, your ideas and your fake ethics backfired on you. Like, and that's kind of it feels natural. Like I feel like you see it kind of happen throughout the movie to everybody.
I definitely think right after that scene, he was trying to go to the car and having Pearl like kill him the way she.
Oh, that's brutal.
Ugh.
That scene's brutal. After watching that scene,
Yeah,
again,
nah.
I'm like, ooh,
And I
time
love
was
that you
brutal.
don't see it. Like they don't show you directly until like 2 or 3 frames later. Like they kind of sit with her doing this for a bit, and then they cut to it. Because I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
they
right at
weren't going to
the end,
show
I'm
it.
like, ooh, bro,
Yeah,
because you see all the aftermath from it. I'm like, oh, good grief.
well,
I mean, RK's a character that doesn't do anything wrong, other than bringing Jenna Ortega's character into this film set. But like, other than that, he doesn't really deserve to die that way. Dang movie.
I don't.
Okay,
Yeah,
can we
nobody
talk
deserved
about
to
how
die that
she
way.
pulled a Uno reverse card on him? Because
Yeah,
remember at the beginning how he told her, "Why are you being such a prune?" And then she throws it back at him during
but that's what.
that
Yeah,
scene.
it's that point of like he want like of control because the movie's kind of talking about like all these female figures who like feel like have control in their life, and this control leads them to like want to do these things to feel free and to be free. And it's kind of like the reverse psychology of him doing that in the same way that Maxine grows up in a restricted Christian setting from what we are kind of told as an audience.
So I don't really want to talk about the scene of when Brittany Snow was singing the song and it's showing Pearl like it's doing a half and half screen.
Yeah.
That it's first
No,
of all, Brittany Snow is like singing. She sings pretty good. First of all, it kind of shows the youth of what Pearl has been talking about, and it shows, of course, when you watch Pearl, of what she wanted to be and what she never got that. She always wanted to be the star, and she never got the opportunity.
oh,
And Vin Diesel just went somebody's place. But besides that, I kind of like that scene. But Bilal, getting right into it, what is the worst scenes for you in this movie?
the worst scenes.
Yeah.
Every time, like the old couple would do weird shit. I don't like that. Can you chill out with
Yeah.
that? Yeah, nah, that could be cut out. Kid Cudi's character being dumb, like, oh, I'm a marine, then just doesn't learn his training. I guess like he slips up like that, and I mean, yes, the alligator scene has or is a crocodile, alligator crocodile,
I think it's alligator. I think
it's
it's
Yeah, it's
alligator.
alligator.
alligator scene. Like, I mean, yes, there's suspense there, but like my brain's like, how did she not hear that? Man, there's like, oh, the scene when Jenna Ortega dies was the dumbest shit ever too, man. When she's just mad at, like when she's like mad at Maxine. I'm like, yo, if you just stay calm in this situation, you probably would survive. Now she just runs out the window and gets her head blown up.
And
Uh,
that's, you know, you mess up and you find out, and that's what happened, you know.
I mean, mm, I
Like it
mean,
makes
maybe.
sense though, because it's like if I was in her shoes, I'd be freaking out too. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
she's also
mean,
missing like half of her hand. She's in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, I'm gonna be freaking out.
oh, well, you would trust your homie though. Well, they're not really homies, but like you would trust someone that you've been with, right?
I mean, it depends on like how much. Okay, listen, it really depends on how much I know them, how much I've been traveling with them, and if it's life or death. If I barely know them for like a month, and you're just like someone and like we're gonna die, I don't know. I'm gonna do everything I can, but I don't know, man.
So for
Yeah.
me, for like you were talking about Jenna Ortega, like her friend, like her, will she trust him? No. You know why? Because RJ's missing. She just literally got whacked in the hand by this old dude with a shotgun, and she's been locked here. No one's coming to help her at all.
I
So
mean,
she's like,
yo,
kind of like, "Fuck you, I'm out of here."
I mean, at least Maxie heard the screaming to go in to help her, though. You know what I mean?
But it's the trust factor. She don't trust him.
Which also I think that has a lot to say with like the fact that like everybody like has this like group moment together and then when shit really hits the fan, everyone's just kind of like,
Yeah, all the trust is out the window.
whatever. That yeah, and it's kind of like, okay, was there ever really trust? Could you really ever build trust out of this? You know what I mean?
Because when Wayne and her go off to find RJ, I'm like, okay, they're gonna be together. They're gonna try to find RJ. No, he just goes off into the barn. And that dude is the dumbest motherfucker ever. First of all, you go out barefooted into a farm. You know.
I forgot about the nail scene.
So I was wondering, she planted that there.
Such a
She
dummy,
planted that
bro.
there. I was thinking that we watched Pearl planted that there so he could step on it. Because there was no way, because if he could find RJ, he would just walk out of the barn. So if he gets on his, gets the nail stuck in his foot, he's going to be looking around, hurting. Then he sees Pearl right at the barn, like doing something. And he's like, oh yeah, what is this? And of course, we get the brutal death of his and the jump scare.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
But he's kind of dumb also because he just wants his film because he's all about the money. That's what he is.
That's why I like Wayne in this movie, because he's simply what he is. He's just
a movie executive.
Yeah, he's
literally a movie executive.
No, but not even that. He's just a slimy dude. He's just the slimy adult film dude. And he's the guy that's like, I don't care. I'm here to make money. I'm just trying to get the show rolling. Let's just do what we're gonna do.
You know what? Y'all say Babylon, right?
Say again?
Yeah.
Y'all say Babylon, right?
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Babylon?
Anyways,
no, I haven't seen Babylon.
Oh my gosh!
I've seen everything else from Damien Chazelle. I slept on it.
All right, so I'm going. Sammy, just mute yourself for a second.
Do you care if I?
Yeah, just take the headphones off real quick.
Remember a scene in Babylon when someone eats a rat and there's like that scene's like, oh, this guy would do anything for money. I feel like,
is it the Tobey Maguire scene?
Yeah. I feel like Wayne would be that guy to eat a rat for money, bro.
He would.
That's what I'm saying, and that's something that brought me up. I mean, it's not a major spoiler,
but it's still the fucked up shit in that movie.
Yeah, I know, but like the fact that scene shows how deep they're going into making money, and same thing with X, how Wayne's trying to go deep into money is just digging himself to this like darker rabbit hole. Just reminded me of that scene in some weird way, if that makes sense.
So is that it for you guys for X?
Yeah.
Is that it for you, Buffalo?
Yes.
So guys, we're gonna get into our after stuff that you guys normally know if you're return viewers. So if you guys are newer viewers to this podcast, we do some facts. We guess the said facts.
Okay.
Well, okay, clean your ears out, man. So we talked about So I'm gonna give it to Sammy this week. So guys, this is gonna be different.
Okay.
We predict the Rotten Tomatoes score. We predict the box office. We talk about Oscars, if this movie got any Oscars, and our rating for this. So Sammy, you're gonna be having it up in front of you. Me and Bilal gonna be guessing. So Bilal, get off your phone.
Where's my phone, bro?
I just seen your hands, bro. Okay, I'm gonna let you
All
first.
Right, what do you think X's box office was?
Oh, we're doing box office first. Oh, you throw a key thing.
20 mil USD in the States.
Okay.
I'm thinking 25 mil.
All right, so drum roll. This is in the editing. We'll put the drum.
No, I'm just doing it right now.
And his name is John C.
Dun, 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 dun. So it's $15.1 million between the U.S. and Canada, and it had a bit budget of wait, do I tell the budget or do y'all guess?
Yeah,
The
just say the budget. I kind of want to know
budget's a
what
million.
that was it.
Yeah.
You got
It
Kid
makes
Cudi for $1
sense,
million?
dude.
They gave the
I
whole
mean,
million
you
to
got to
Kid
think of
Cudi. That's it.
the thing with Kid Cudi too. At this point in his career, he was very new to starting to act, and he was trying new roles. I'm sure it was easier to sell him on being in the movie and being like, "Hey, we're gonna market you as being a big character in this movie," and it's like one of his first movies he was ever in. Because outside of that, I mean, 2 years before he had his TV debut in Luca Guadagnino's "We Are Who We Are" on HBO, and he was starring in that as like a military figure. It's kind of funny he played a military figure in like both roles I've seen him in, but yeah, I don't know. His acting career was very interesting so far. So
So, Sammy, Bilal, I don't know why I messed up. What is your prediction for the critics and audience score before I tell my prediction?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you.
I and you and me.
you and me, we see.
Rush Hour 3, baby. I do it. But predictions, audience, not audience, critic 85, audience 62.
Okay.
So I think audience is a nice crisp 92,
Okay.
and I think audience is leaning towards 89.
All right. But we're close. Critics is 94. And
I was
audience
close, I thought.
score is 76.
Oh, you got audience. I got critic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like general audiences wouldn't like, because
The film industry type.
I
of
think
film.
it was definitely a harder sell at first. But I will give it this. Props to the marketing to sticking with it. Because I feel like most movies nowadays, when they do something like risque in a movie, they don't really market it really well to what it is.
Or
I feel
kind of
like
like musicals.
yeah, but I feel like with X, you knew what you were getting into. Like you knew what it was about. You knew what you were gonna watch. Like
Like
props to
perfect
A24.
example of the marketing of like misleading this Joker right now.
But
No
like
one's
for
going to know
me,
that's a musical.
that's true. But I also think more people will be open to it once they watch it. But like I would say, like I saw the TV Glow. Like it's a
I
movie
want you to still watch that.
that's very much like marketed as a Stranger Things kind of style movie. And then you go watch it, and it's very much a queer film. And it's just not even, it's just not matching with it. At least with X, they match the marketing.
Yeah, there's this new Korean movie that's I've been hearing a lot hype for, the new horror Korean movie called Exuma.
That's streaming right now.
Yeah,
I need to watch that.
What's it streaming on?
Shutter.
Shutter.
Okay.
Exuma.
Yeah. I think it is.
All right, and what would we say our rating for the movie is?
Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sammy, I want to hear yours.
I'd say it's 4 out of 5. I think it's one of those movies that, like, for a modern era, it makes a slasher that works, but it also knows when to be original and pay homage. And I love it. I think it's a good movie. But you, Dakota?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Come on, you so easy with these 5s.
I know,
You be throwing
bro.
these 5s out like you IGN with 10s. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
Like-
trust IGN.
It always be throwing 10s, bro.
I'm gonna explain to you. This movie makes me feel icky. It makes me feel scared. It has every emotion.
Bless you.
Like kind of every emotion is, even sad, because you kind of feel like during, like I said, the Britney Snow scene, you kind of feel bad for Pearl a little bit because she didn't get what she wanted.
It's I feel like the movie definitely knows how to balance a lot of different emotions and feelings.
Oh, one thing left. What is the scene that was not funny, but you laughed at? There's one scene.
Alligator scene.
When what's her name? The blonde girl gets pushed in. That was just because, like, it wasn't funny, but like Pearl actually doing it was kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so messed up and out of it was so fast. Like you think they're just gonna like ignore it or set it up, and then she's just like, nah, and you're like, oh, and they're rolling her by. Oh god, like it was some robot chicken shit. Straight
No,
up. Like I was not expecting.
mine's so different from y'all. It's the shotgun scene.
Yeah, the
Bro,
shotgun
she's
scene,
shotgun spots to the door.
bro, because you're like, oh, it's almost like a
The
shock
first
laugh. It's
time
a
I
shock
watched
laugh,
it
bro.
in theaters, nobody laughed. Second time in theaters, Austin Kendall, the people down the row and everybody in the theater busted out laughing.
Because like it's almost like a, oh my god, that just happened. Especially like it takes her feet out and shit. Like it's yeah.
You can
It's a
tell
lot
that
of
was
fun.
just a straight tummy. Phew.
What about you, Bilal?
My rating. You want to know my rating?
Do I want to know your rating?
Do we? No, we don't. The people do.
3 stars. This wasn't my vibe, but I still thought it was okay.
Hey, I'll take 3 stars, man. Hell
Do
yeah.
you think? I think this thing did not get no Oscar nominations, so we can't agree on that, right?
Yeah, they didn't.
Big off with Best Actress. What you mean, bro?
Speaking of the other
Everyone
movie,
knows that.
Speaking of the other movie, we're gonna be talking about that once we get to the Pearl review.
Yeah, because that was a
Next
big deal. That was also what drove me to X was Pearl. Because all the publicity from Pearl and everybody
Wait,
being
did
like,
you watch Pearl first or X first?
I didn't watch Pearl at all yet. I haven't seen it. I've
Oh,
just seen X. I know.
bro!
I know. I'm ready.
I'm just gonna say there's a 7-minute scene just with Mia Goth, and I will be talking about that.
That scene was weird.
No,
man.
not the Scarecrow scene. I'm just gonna say
just give the Scarecrow scene. That was just fucking weird.
Now I'm scared. Once I see the Scarecrow, I know to be scared.
But let's talk about our future episodes, guys. So our upcoming episode will be episode 22 of the Cinematic Boys podcast. It will be me and Bilal. Sammy won't be there. He didn't get to see I think A Quiet Place you won't be able to get to see by the time we're filming that.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Not this week.
So I already seen it because we're filming this today, and tomorrow we're gonna be filming the podcast episode for that. So Bilal's gonna be seeing it tomorrow. I already seen it. I don't want to spoil it for you guys what I thought. But our next episode for next week for the Cinematic Boys reviews, we kind of already a little teased. It's gonna be Pearl. Hopefully we can get the guest on that I wanted to get on today. They said they're going to try to join us for the episode.
Oh, we'll get them on.
And guys, with that being said, if you guys are new here and first-time listeners, thank you for listening to us. We might be crazy, but stay. We good. We got some great content. Go check out the other videos, especially our Dune Part 1 video. Check that out. If you want some unhinged content of us just rambling about Dune and other shit, go check that out. But if you want good movie review, go check out last week's review in The Raid. We break down The Raid, Bilal's 2 favorite movies, probably of all time.
Yes, sir.
But if you guys are new, go check out those videos. Give us a like, give us a follow, or subscribe. If you guys are listening to us on Apple or Spotify, give us a follow, give us a star rating. On Spotify, I will have a thing of give us your thoughts on X. And if you guys are excited about these upcoming episodes, and also leave us that in the comments on the YouTube. But Bilal, Sammy, do you have anything else before we say goodbye to the people?
We may be very chaotic, but we have a lot of heart and be funny.
Hot.
La heart. Yeah.
And I only got one thing to say.
What?
I can't wait for this. Say it. Just say it.
What are you guys waiting on? I'm done.
This is
what are y'all waiting on, dude?
Guys,
I'm just sitting here.
With that being said, when you hear me and Bilal next time, it will be for episode 22 of the Cinematic Boys podcast. And when you hear Sammy next time, it will be on episode 24 of the Cinematic Boys review. So, guys, with that being said,
Kobe.
I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace and be man. Yeah.